Previously, in episode 2 of the anime, Zagan had bought Elf Slave as he had fallen in love with her at first sight, but the only problem with Nephi was that she had given up on her own life and thinks she's better off being dead, so Zagan tries to break her ice a bit. He takes Nephi for some shopping around the town and bought clothes for her. Their shopkeeper saw Zagan and his nature and she told Nephi that Zagan cares for her. She got all shy hearing this, but Zagan wants to remove the collar. Nephi got uneasy thinking Zagan doesn't want her as well, but Zagan tells this to Nephi. That collar is magical so he can't get rid of it easily. She felt ease. They were sitting on a restaurant and both were feeding each other as they didn't know how to use a fork. They looked like a really cute couple to the others as they were so cute, so both of them got shy and hastily ran off. And then, the next day, Nephi wakes Zagan up in the morning with a greeting, so Zagan also replied good morning. This was the first time he didn't hesitate to talk with Nephi, and both went to the dining hall. Nephi cleaned this place up real good and Zagan praised her for making bread herself. Zagan noticed she got happy, but she hadn't eaten herself. She only made lunch enough for Zagan and forgot to make some for herself. Zagan offers half of his portion and tells her to sit on his lap as she didn't make a seat for herself. That's one smooth move, and then, he feeds Nephi, and Nephi feeds Zagan. Surely it was making their relationship nicer. Then, as more days passed by, Nephi asked Zagan about sorcery. Seeing the magic circle, Zagan thought elf sorcery was different, but that wasn't the case. Nephi just can't use sorcery, which was hard to believe as she's an elf and has high mana. Zagan teaches the basic of sorcery is based on circle. Different patterned circle makes different types of magic. Zagan shows lightning with that circle, and explains that adding symbols could make the magic powerful, and at the end the circle only activates with mana. But sometimes another sorcerer could hijack the magic circle. But Nephi noticed and asked if she could add symbol inside of the circle. But that was impossible, as it requires a second circle that disrupts mana. But it's possible if one could completely control the mana, and if that happens, that sorcerer could become invincible. But right now it's only a myth theory, and all sorcerers put traps among their books as knowledge is sorcerer's weapon. Zagan saw Nephi was happy being taught, as it was written all over her face, so with the mood being nice, Zagan lost his composure, so Nephi asked what he wants to do with this power. And answer was simple for Zagan: survive. He was an orphan and has to steal to survive. And one day he got caught and was used for experiment, but luckily he turned the magic on that sorcerer and escaped. But suddenly Holy Knight barged into his territory as they think Zagan is behind the kidnapping of young women for experiment, so Chasteel broke his barrier and there Zagan comes out. He saw the holy relic she was holding which explain how she broke his barriers easily. He recognized the girl he saved before was this red hair, so Zagan thought if he would have knew she's holy weapon welder he wouldn't have spared her life, and there the fight starts off. Those three idiots tried to take some lead. Not knowing Zagan is physically strong as well, he threatened Chasteel not to move or he could crush the guy. Zagan wants to let them go to spread fear of how strong he is, but Chasteel knew Zagan is not the type to kill someone. Zagan truly can't do that, and Chasteel took advantage of that. Zagan can't raise his hands on her because she's the same age as Nephi, so Chasteel asked why he had to get into sorcery. It's an evil knowledge through and through. Then what about power she was using? It's just a patty excuse of jealousy of church. As they want to crush the livelihood of sorcerer, she just don't want to hear a word and used her sword to throw Zagan to corner. Zagan's healing magic wasn't keeping up because of holy weapon, but Chasteel also didn't want to kill him. She asked Zagan to pretend to die, or else another holy knight who's much more powerful than her will come to hunt him down until church kills him. Chasteel knew Zagan was different from other sorcerers because he did not kill her men, and most importantly, she was saved by him, which she remembers all too well, so this was all she could do to repay him. Zagan knew helping a sorcerer is a serious crime in church, so she bet her everything right now, but Zagan can't accept it, and Nephi came out. The lackey knight targets her, so Zagan saved her from that attack, but the blade got him this time, and seeing this, Nephi got out of control, and the whole area started to shake as she was pissed off bad this time. She used her powers to manipulate the woods and she buried the guy under the roots. And before she killed him, Zagan stopped her, so those knights withdraw from there. Nephi tells Zagan she didn't use sorcery. But Zagan doesn't care what power she has, for him Nephi is Nephi. She got happy, but she can't accept that because she's different, but Zagan doesn't really care, so Nephi tells him she used mysticism, a power that comes naturally to a person unlike sorcery that uses knowledge, and for that she was regarded as a cursed child and was locked up like an animal. And one day villagers asked her to protect the village to repay them for keeping her alive, so she got captured by attackers without resistance, and when she saw those villagers dying in front of her, she actually felt nice. She laughed at them but later realized, she can't be forgiven by those villagers, but they are dead and that's the end, plus, she's powerful and that's not a crime. This one time Zagan saved a kid from bandits and she cursed him in return for being powerful. He knew she's the princess type raised in happiness, which was the opposite, so he decided to get stronger to survive and told Nephi to live because he can't imagine his life without her. And those words meant the world to her as she broke down in tears. But sadly, that's where the episode 3 got to an end. But if you've missed the last 2 episodes, I've made a playlist where you could watch the previous episodes. Playlist link is in the description. Please check out to understand the story. Until then, take care.